Winning the WCS was too much of emotion to describe with mere words.
Definitely an amazing moment that I don't know if I'll ever experience something like that again. Hi, I'm Josh. I'm 29 years old. I'm a Yu-Gi-Oh player and content creator. My first interaction with Yu-Gi-Oh was obviously watching it when I was a kid in school, and eventually we found out there's real cards and we started playing, and that's how it all began. I first started playing Yu-Gi-Oh competitively when I found out there was local tournaments in my area. At that point I was only 10, 11 years old, so I didn't take it that seriously. And then I later on, when I was older, I started going to YCSs when they started doing them in Europe. I went to the very first one, and ever since then I've been playing nonstop.
I have a long history with Josh because we both share the love of the Yu-Gi-Oh trading card game. But of course, I rediscovered Josh as a Yu-Gi-Oh Master Duel player when he decided to go and grind for the World Championship for the first time.
A major factor that makes Master Duel attractive to me is that you can just play it from the comfort of your own home, and basically the fact that I can stream it as well to my audience and stuff like that is great for that. Taking part in the Worlds qualifier as soon as they announced it, I was super hyped about the additional opportunity to qualify for the World Championship, because of course I've been trying to do it in the TCG for a long time, and a second chance basically was just something I was always gonna take.
Like I have 57.
A lot of people were really interested just in high-level focused gameplay, so the stream turned out to be a huge success, and I just thought that was amazing because I was just try-harding basically the tournament and just had the stream running on the side, not really doing much about it, but people really liked it. The entire experience was pretty tiring, but also very rewarding, of course, because it felt like something I've worked towards the entire weekend and maybe even the preparation time before that. And at the time, I think it didn't quite settle in immediately because I was very exhausted from the entire weekend, but then I went to bed, and when I woke up, I suddenly realized that it worked out, and I was very, very happy about it. Yeah.
I am Jack-Rory Steenkamer. Line handle is Quantal. I started to play at first very casually, enjoying the game, but I'd never really had competitive success previously. But once Challenger Cups started up in Europe, I started to play almost every single one of them. And at that point, I really felt I had a chance in being more than just a casual, but also being competitive and doing well at what seems to be also WCS, which really is special. The qualification process was quite special. Full on 72 hours was really a roller coaster of emotions. There's a lot of ups and downs, certain points where you play too much because you're too tired, and it really gets the most out of you.
Quantal was a friend of mine that I've already known from the TCG, and I also, of course, saw him as one of my greatest rivals during the qualification period because he was so close to me. But that also showed me that he was really good at Master Duel. And because I knew him already, I was like, it only makes sense for me if I really want to take the World Championship seriously. I wanted the best people on my team, so I asked Quantal if he wanted to join, because I also felt like he deserved it.
I felt just relieved that after all that work, it just worked out and I had achieved a dream of mine.
I'm Emre Kizilates. I'm 26 years old and I live in Frankfurt, Germany. During the early 2000s, my brother's 8 years older than I am. Yu-Gi-Oh was really popular in pop culture. And I remember playing a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories on the PlayStation 1 back then. I really enjoyed that game.
So Emre, on the other hand, is someone I've known for even longer. I've known him basically since he was like this big, basically. And I knew that one of his biggest dreams was going to the World Championships. And I was really happy to give him that opportunity.
We were really good friends back then, like we had the same friend group. And when I started playing again in 2022, he was like my travel buddy, basically.
So at the time, I personally did not know Emre. My first time actually meeting Emre was in a Discord.
So for Emre in particular, just thinking about how he brings that positive attitude, you know, the fact that he's always upbeat. We have countless footage countless clips rather, of him just smiling, super happy.
The first connection I have to Emre as a player is, of course, with him and his most favorite Fluanderie strategy. He has been known for that in the TCG, and then also transition that love for the Florwanderies deck into Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel?
We first listed every deck we believed was playable for the tournament. It was also our first time dealing with the deck restrictions and deck regulations, which were a fun challenge, a very welcomed one. Only being able to share 3 cards among the decks.
The format for the World Championship was very special, and that's why we prepared for it a lot. And we knew we were going to bring the tier limit strategy because that was the best deck at the time, which was also Quantel's best deck, and he was very, very good with it. So that was why we gave that deck to him. And then we had to still find 5 other decks. We decided, since you don't necessarily have to play both of the decks, that we made it our biggest priority to find 1 really good deck for each player, so 3 really good decks, and then have secondary decks that complement that deck.
Our team selection at the time was me playing Tierlament and backup as Sky Striker, Josh with Natuya Runic and Dragon Link, and Emre with Exorcister and Labyrinth.
There we also came up with the Natuya Runic deck. He wanted to try the deck out for like a game, just to see how it feels. And I was playing Sprite and Labyrinth at that time, and he just obliterated me like the entire day. And then we realized, okay, that deck is crazy. I really wanted to bring my Flu deck to Worlds because it's my favorite deck, and I feel really comfortable playing that deck. Josh was not so keen on it, so he told me to come to his place. If I win 1 game in 2 hours, he'll let me play the deck. I didn't win a single game.
So in terms of expectations, of course, you do have to contextualize it with the fact that they were 2nd seed heading into that World Championship behind Shape Snatch.
Surprisingly, I wasn't quite stressed in the lead up towards WCS. I honestly felt that whatever happens, happens. I felt that most of us were quite calm.
We started well into the tournament, and that was very important, I think, because the first round was by far the most nerve-wracking round, because you just sit down and this is where it starts. And all the in-game effects were also very special for the World Championship, so it was something I don't think anyone was prepared for it, how intense it felt when you have the headset on and everything. But we won our first 2 rounds, which was really important, because after those we were already guaranteed to make it through the group stages. So we had a lot of pressure fallen off of us for the 3rd round of the group stage.
So the 3rd match really at that point didn't matter too much, where I decided to, Josh told me to play Sky Striker just to test the matchup into Exorcister, which gave us a good guidance of how Striker was into the Exorcister matchup.
In the top cut, I really started to shine. I won more games than I lost, which was really important. We played against the Japanese team. And I remember in the very last set, we all 3 lost the coin toss. Like, I was looking to the left, I saw Quantel lose, I saw Josh lose, I look at my monitor, I lose. I look at my opening hand, I drew triple Ash Blossom, which is a good card, but you don't want to draw it as a 3-off. And I somehow still ended up winning that game.
Right before the final, we were all very, very nervous, especially the opening ceremony. We heard the music and everything, and that really, everyone had chills waiting for the finals, and it was very, very special. Emre, of course, wandering around the venue because he couldn't stand still because he was so nervous. Jack and myself a little bit more calm and collected, but still hearts racing and everything. We just tried to stay calm as much as possible. Looking back at it now, I don't really know how we managed to even pull that off and stay there and just play the finals.
The final was really interesting. So Team 7 has 3 really, really great players. I think by today everyone knows them. They are like probably the best opponent that we can get. In my head, I had the feeling if I win the very first game against Jesse that we're going to win the final.
And there we go. Game 1, advantage to snipehunters and advantage.
We were able to solidify a 3-3 to the final set.
The very last game of that match was Quantel. If he wins, we're going to win the World Championship. As soon as he started to attack for a game, I had like goosebumps in my entire body, and I was like, yeah, we've just done it, which of course we believe in it, but we also didn't believe in it because it was so surreal to be the world champion.
Representatives are your first ever Master Duel World Champions.
The WCS title for me, when going into the tournament, was more of a dream than anything else. Too much of emotion to describe with mere words.
You feel numb basically for a moment because it takes a while to settle in, right? You just you stand up and we hug each other and everything, but it doesn't feel real yet because it takes a while to realize, and we walk up to lift the trophy and everything, and it's just a very, very surreal moment that even now I have a hard time describing the exact feelings, but definitely an amazing moment that I don't know if I'll ever experience something like that again.
I very much closely followed the World Championship in 2023, and I stayed up all night basically watching it because I was super, super excited for it. I was honestly so incredibly happy when they did do it.
After winning WCS 23, it was quite a calming effect, where rather than playing less Yu-Gi-Oh, I ended up playing more Yu-Gi-Oh than ever.
The motivation was clear. We wanted to win back-to-back. That was our goal.
A couple months before the World Championship was coming up, we just started actively playing. I mean, I think most of us were actively playing the entire time anyways, because we just like to play the game, so that wasn't really the issue, but we started more concentrated preparation.
I personally was testing every single deck that included Promethean Princess, the Star of Flames, because a lot of the fire decks were individually all shared a lot of important key pieces, such as Snake Eye Engine.
We looked at the meta, which I think was pretty much dominated by Fire Kings. So we knew, okay, one of us will play Fire King. Yubel was also a threat, but we didn't like Yubel that much because it played really weak into Maxi, which was a 3 back then. We knew, okay, one of us will play Fire King. It ended up being Josh. Quantal ended up really liking Key Elements again, which was the strategy that he felt the most comfortable with. And I picked Centurion as my first deck, which was really odd. I think no one else played it.
And near the end, we had really solidified that Fire King Snake Eye was by far the most settled in the metagame in order to beat the vast majority of decks.
I think we had a good chance to win it going into it, but I think so did all the other teams. Of course, they increased the number of teams this year, so it was naturally going to be a little bit harder, and I don't think there was any team that we looked at and we were like, yeah, those are going to be easy to play against. I think everyone was a hard opponent.
They came in as the favorite simply because, they'd won the prior year, and we had a lot of expectations for them based on the highs that they'd reached before and the fact that they'd shown that they can compete and be the best team in the world.
2024 Worlds definitely went quite different on day one, especially for me, because I had not the greatest day one.
So we started off with a rough situation where we lost round one. Somehow we played best when under pressure.
Emre was performing very well on the first day. He was single-handedly beating almost all of his opponents.
Winning that many games felt really good. I felt like, yeah, just bring me the next opponent, I'll just against them as well. When I'm losing, my teammates are winning. When they're losing, I'm winning, and that's what makes a great team. We need to complement each other, as I said.
Then into top 4, we played a familiar opponent with Taskus' team, which we had previously played in the previous top 4 of the previous WCS.
It was Quantal and my turn to pay him back for it, and we ended up winning the semifinals as well.
Our mental state before the final compared to last year was completely different. We were more chill.
I think the 2 World Championships we had so far for Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel lift off of the rivalry between Team 7 and Team Snipehunters. It's like a whole new story now. It is part of the game. It is part of why the World Championship was so exciting for both of these years.
I think there has always been a sort of rivalry since the first WCS final. We knew that Team 7 wanted to win the WCS as much as we do. When we met for the second time, we really knew that they were coming back with a hunger to win that event.
The finals didn't go well for us this year. Looking back at it, I don't think there was too much we could have done. As soon as the match finished, I felt like I was already okay with it. Of course, I felt disappointment, but I also saw their reaction and I saw how much it meant to them. And they are also people that I've become friends with over the years. So I think the overwhelming feeling for me was, it's okay. We had it last year. I think it's okay if they have their moment this year. And I felt happy for them, and it was okay ultimately.
After we lost the final, we knew that we were not automatically qualified because only the winner gets qualified. So we knew we had to go through all of the process of qualifying again.
I think Team Snipehunters always will have a chance as they have very, very good individual players, and I know that all three of them are going to try to make it through the regional qualifiers for their team.
The overall decision was, yes, we're going to all try to qualify again, and if one of us makes it, we're going to invite the other two just to bring Team Snipehunters back, and that's what's going to happen if one of us makes it, yeah.
I think from the very first moment we knew that we will go together back as a team. I think it would feel wrong to play with other people in that tournament because we've been there together, we won it together, that's everything you could ask for. It wouldn't have mattered if we would have lost twice in the final or won twice. At the end, you want to play the World Championship, and it's...
I think that through the two finals, we had become very close friends all together.
Yeah, it's gonna be exciting because we really wanna go back.
Worlds hasn't been in Europe for a while, so it's incredibly exciting to see that it's now coming back to Europe and to Paris, France specifically, because that's of course a beautiful location. With the home turf advantage, of course, it's even easier. No jet lag, no nothing. Therefore, the European teams, and there are some good ones already qualified, I think they are going to have a good time, maybe taking the title once more.
It's hard for me to even express how much Yu-Gi-Oh! Has done for me overall because I've been playing this game forever. At this point, a lot of my longest friends and closest friends are from this game. A lot of my travel experiences and so many other things. The competitive success I found, as well as the career I now have. So it's basically almost everything that this game has brought to me. Because we hit on 5.